Okay, now I'm going to show you how the system works and what it's going to do for you. And it comes down to this. IPAS has really 6 elements that I'm going to break down for you, which I call the success elements. The first is the IPAS2 success formula, or what I call iSuccess formula. The second is the success triangle. The third part is traffic, automation, duplication, and scale. All right? So let's talk about what is IPAS2. IPAS2 is the system designed to produce new customers and create an income multiplier rather than just one-time customers. Here's what most people are doing online right now. Is you're going to see they're going to get some traffic, and then they're going to send that traffic to an opt-in page where you collect a name and email address. From there, they're going to have an offer that they're going to sell, whatever that offer is, a product or service. And then what happens after that, whether they sell it or not, they're going to send 9 million emails back to that offer. So that is the funnel that 90% of the people out there are doing. You buy traffic, or you're putting Facebook ads out there to an opt-in page, and then it's going to go to a product that you're trying to sell, and then you just have an email series that follows up and sends them back to that offer. Okay? Here's why that doesn't work, guys. People are sick of it. They've seen this. It's been around. This is what people have been doing for a long time now, and they quite honestly ignore it, so conversions are really poor. There's just too much competition. As we know, everybody's trying to make money online. They're following that model because that's what you think. You have a product, you send people to a capture page to build your list, then you try to sell the product. Okay? Too much competition. And quite honestly, there's too much hype and noise online right now where people just aren't taking it serious, so your conversions are being dramatically affected. Also, traffic is more expensive than before. So if you don't have the economics figured out of your sales funnel, you're going to be spending money and not making money. And I know a lot of you have been in that boat, and you're looking for the way of, why are these same people always making money? Why are the gurus or people like you, Chris, making money day after day, year after year without fail, where I just can't figure this out? Well, there's a reason for that. Here's the funny thing. While everyone else has been losing money over the past few years using this old school stuff, which no longer works, my partners and I have been secretly earning hundreds of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis with a formula that has become the cornerstone of our business and our students' business. So here's one simple thing I'm going to show you guys, and it's going to knock your socks off, that I added to my business to double my revenue. Okay? Here's what I did. We all know you have traffic, okay? You get traffic. I'm going to give you a resource that's going to allow you to get as much traffic as you want. All you have to do is place the order. It's that simple. But what I did, okay, is I added what I call a tripwire. It's a low-cost offer. It's a $7 offer, and I did that prior to selling the core offer, which is a $47 product that I have. So I inserted a $7 tripwire. It's very inexpensive, and from there it goes to the core offer. And the cool thing about that is what doubled my conversions just by adding the tripwire. Okay? Here's why I did it this way. Without adding a tripwire in front of your main offer, you can only expect a conversion rate of 1.5%. That's pretty standard. So if you're just buying traffic or doing traffic, sending it to some product and trying to sell it, you're going to be converting at 1.5%. Okay? It looks like this. So you have traffic. You have your main offer, 1.5% conversions. You're not going to profit, you guys. It's not going to happen. You guys are you're going to be in the red and lose money. So I created a tripwire offer to put in front of the main $47 offer. And what I found is if someone takes a tripwire offer, they're 10 times more likely to buy my main product. Now, again, that's 10 times more likely. Okay? And all a tripwire is just a low-cost product that teaches something really cool and proves the concept of what your main product is doing. It's very inexpensive. People buy it quickly. The presentation can be shorter, and people are 10 times more likely to buy your core product. Now, before I use this formula, here's what a typical scenario of just say 1,000 visitors to my site would look like. Okay? You can write these numbers down if you want. My core product was $47, and the average conversion rate was around 1.5%, as I just mentioned. So 1,000 visitors would bring in roughly $705 in sales, which isn't too bad, okay? When I added the tripwire, here's what 1,000 visitors look like. Now, our tripwire costs $7. Roughly 8% of the visitors bought that. So the difference being is from 1.5%, now we move the conversions up to 8% are buying the $7 offer. So for 1,000 visitors, I would make roughly $560. But 30% of the people who bought the tripwire would then go on to buy my main core product for $47. So the main product sales generated an additional $1,128. Add this all up, and here's what we got. $560 in the tripwire sales, plus another $1,128 in sales for the main offer. That means that the total revenue for 1,000 visitors after adding the tripwire was $1,688. You guys, that's an increase of 140% in revenue by adding one simple step. One step. So before the tripwire, $705. After the tripwire, $1,688. Okay, that's over double the results with the same amount of effort just by adding this little tripwire into the mix. It's that simple. This is actually just one of the pieces, or the IPAS formula that I created. This is just one of them. After deploying this strategy and producing over $150,000 in monthly revenue, I decided to add several more steps that would end up taking my income personally from $150,000 per month to a massive $500,000. I'm going to show you. I started this back in 2011. In 2011, you can see in this statement from my merchant for my company was $502,685.34 of sales in that month of a product where I made almost 100% commissions. This was back in 2011, so this is how long I've been doing it. I've been doing it for 3 years now. Okay, so let me share with you the other elements that I added to my business and how they became what is known as the IPAS2 success formula, or what I call the iSuccess formula. Okay, going back to what most people are doing. Buying traffic, or you're doing your own traffic, you're sending them to an opt-in page, they go to an offer, you send them 9 million emails. That's what most people are doing. In this scenario, most people are only concerned about one thing, you guys, and that's getting more traffic to their core offer. You know what I'm talking about. If you have a product you're trying to sell, and your whole thing is you're just more traffic is going to mean more sales, and then getting more people to convert, so you're thinking about conversions by focusing on this only. Okay, if you're only focusing on conversions, this is a problem. And while it's good to increase conversions, don't get me wrong here, there's far better ways to grow revenue. I'm telling you this. In fact, most people spend an enormous amount of time and money to boost their conversions by changing their website design, their copy, even going as far as picking up the phone and calling people to increase their conversions. Okay? And in my experience, most people, I don't know if this is you guys, but most people never reach that kind of numbers needed to profit because they don't know how to track these changes, or just don't have the skill to do it. So if I told you a new type of headline using red instead of blue to increase your conversions 2%, believe it or not, a lot of people couldn't figure that out. So whereas I just showed you how I doubled my conversions by adding one simple step that maybe took me a couple days to implement. Okay, it's just the economics of how these sales systems work. Now, the additional steps I added to my business were by far the most significant when it came to creating additional revenue, and are quite honestly the building blocks that make up the IPAS2 system that you actually received a couple days ago for free. So the first thing I did, and write this down, was I added a second tripwire. And for those that did not actually buy the original tripwire, and created a return path for them to get emails urging them to buy tripwire and tripwire 2. Why did I do this? Well, we know that if they take the tripwire offer, they're up to 10 times more likely to buy the core offer. We already know that for a fact. So with that in mind, doesn't it make sense to build a return path that sends them continually to the tripwire? Of course it does. Most people, on the other hand, would just try to move on and just sell their core offer. Okay, somebody didn't buy the tripwire, buy my other product. Well, I, on the other hand, thought this was ridiculous, to lose your advantage by skipping the step, especially knowing the core offer conversions once they buy the tripwire. Remember, they're 10 times more likely to buy your main product if they buy the tripwire. So I also realized through lots of testing that most people, and you all should know this, won't immediately buy your offer, and it takes on average 7 exposures before they'll buy anything online. This is typical marketing 101 here, guys. Knowing this fact, I plugged in a secondary tripwire offer to add more value. I also created a return path consisting of a constant stream of emails urging them back to the tripwire offer. Here's what the first part of the system looks like. So we have a lead magnet, which is our traffic and our capture page. Okay, that's how you get people to see what you got. From there, we send it to trip offer number 1. Tripwire offer number 1 goes for $7. Okay, if they don't buy that, what happens is a series of return emails sends them back to that tripwire for about a week, and it just keeps dripping and keeps dripping on them. In fact, I think it's 8 emails total. So we know the exposures are 7, we do 8. If they don't buy it at that point, we introduce them to another tripwire that has a little bit different angle, same value proposition, and gives them an opportunity to see something in a different angle that might appeal to them for the same price, same $7 price. And if they don't buy that, we hit them with some other emails to send them back to that second tripwire. Now from there, when they decide to purchase the tripwire, it goes then to the core product, okay? And then the core product, if they don't buy that there, it actually sends more return emails to them saying, hey, you need to get this, you got the tripwire, this is what this is going to do for you and how it's going to benefit you. Why do all this? Well, because we know for a fact that if someone takes a tripwire, they're 10 times more likely to take the core offer. And by having multiple return paths, we give them over 20 exposures to return to the tripwire offers, thus increasing our core offer conversions by an astonishing 5 to 8%, you guys. This formula right here, this front-end system is so significant, and I accomplished this by building a machine to automatically move them into taking the tripwire offers far before presenting them with the core offer. Basically exhaust all your resources into getting them to the tripwire offer prior to even moving to your core offer. So those of you that are marketing stuff online, I suggest that you add tripwires and return paths to double your sales revenue. Okay? If you add this kind of process to your business, this simple step, you will see huge gains. All right? Now, the good news is all of you on this webinar received the IPAS2 system for free during pre-launch, and this is the exact process that I built into it. The tripwires, the return paths, the tested lead magnets and capture pages, traffic resource, and let's not forget the last 2 and probably most significant steps that took my revenue to over $500,000 a month. At this point, my tripwires are selling like hotcakes, and over 30% of them were grabbing the irresistible core offer. All in all, this front-end system allowed me to get close to break-even numbers, sometimes putting me into profit before I even sold my main product. You guys, if you're not seeing results like this, you need to be. Okay? However, I started thinking, what would be the easiest way at this point to immediately increase revenue at this stage? Well, the same thing my competitors were doing, and that's using upsells. Okay? I took this strategy, you guys, right out of the book of Frank Kern himself. His big hit launches and case studies have proven that adding upsells within the sales process will undoubtedly add more revenue while increasing goodwill with your customers. So if you use upsells right, you will increase your revenue without doing anything, and you're going to really build goodwill. So I figured someone that bought my tripwire offer and my core offer would immediately be willing to buy something else if and only if it provided them faster results or made something easier. Here's what I did. So here's the front end. You got the lead magnet, the tripwires, the return pass, and then they go on to buy your core offer for $47. Here's what I did. I added a core maximizer. That's what I call it. The core maximizer being an upsell offer for $97. The cool thing about this scenario is 30% of the people that bought my core offer bought this upsell automatically. It's very simple. They say, hey, do you want it? They click a button. It allows them to purchase it. 30% of them were picking this up. So let me show you that simple upsell means in dollars and cents to, in overall revenue here. So based on the same 1,000 visitor example that I gave you earlier, if 1,000 people visit the site, 8% buy the tripwire, so that's 80 tripwire sales. Okay, 30% buy the core offer, which is 24 more core offer sales. Total revenue so far, $1,688. Okay. Now add 30% of the core offer customers that buy the $97 upsell. So that's 7 upsell sales at $97 a piece. That's $679. This simple step added an additional $679 without the need for me to do any more work or spend additional time on my business. This just happens automatically. This process creates what I call a compounding effect to an already effective sales system. So if you don't have an upsell, you're absolutely leaving 30% of your income on the table right now. So if you're not doing this, might as well just send 30% to me because you're leaving it on the table. Okay, and this is exactly why I included it in the IPAS2 system. I knew this had to be there for not only myself to be successful, but for a system to work for people. I created a product called the Six-Figure Shortcuts that provide a great value to the consumer and help them reach their goals faster. So it's a very attractive product, hence why the conversions are at 30%. Having a powerful front-end system like this serves basically three purposes, and you want to write these three things down. First, it allows you to get into profit mode faster, and this is what we call now money. This is what pays your bills. This is important that you have this and pays for your marketing. It also allows you to do paid advertising. You guys, paid advertising is the way to go. It's how you build money fast online. Doing slow Craigslist ads are not going to get you anywhere, and certainly doing free advertising is very slow, and there's a very small percentage of people that can make that work successfully. It also allows you to scale faster. When you know the economics of a system and you know the percentages and this is all working for you regardless of what you're doing on traffic, then you can scale because you know your numbers. So let me share with you the secret to this whole system. There's a secret to this, okay? The reason I've been able to do over 7 figures online and how many of my students have gone on from working a job to living their dreams as a full-time internet entrepreneur is because the tripwire, the core offer, and the upsell products are logically designed to work together to create a massive demand for your main product offering. There's a science to this. They all work together, and this is known as your profit maximizer, which is your main product offering. A profit maximizer is just any additional product or service you sell to those extremely loyal customers who have bought everything you have to sell and are still asking for more. This would be an opportune time to present a top tier or residual product or service, okay? Having a profit maximizer is your greatest money-making breakthrough needed to reach lifestyle incomes online, bar none. It is the way that you make the big money, okay? Without it, you will always be fighting your break-even numbers and limiting your ability to scale your business. If you don't have a back-end profit maximizer, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle, trust me. The cool and often misunderstood part of adding a profit maximizer to your business is that if done properly, it requires no extra work on your part while yielding the highest returns of any part of your sales funnel. What that means is once you do this, there's nothing you have to do. There's no extra effort. It just runs itself. So in other words, if your front-end tripwire and core offer are set up and they set up the profit maximizer properly, your consumers will automatically understand why they need your other stuff. You don't even have to sell it. Okay, so regardless of what it costs them, price becomes irrelevant at this point, and this is where everybody gets confused and thinks they know everything in the world, but it goes against what your common logic might say. Price has nothing to do with it. Okay, Tony Robbins sells packages upwards of $60,000, and people pay it all day long. It's because he sets them up on his front-end core offer and his tripwires and his business model, and so in the back end for his seminars, he sells them. He sells out, and everybody goes and they buy personal coaching from him because price is irrelevant. They want it, and they know why they need it for their life. So profit maximizers can come in two forms. You guys, it's products you can create, we covered that, or you can sell other people's products. Either way, you must be able to make a significant amount of money per sale for this to really bring in big returns. So you need to be able to make some good cash on this part for you to see that lifestyle money, the mortgage money, the new car money, okay? So since IPAS2 provides you with the tripwire, the core offer, and the upsell products, I thought it'd be only fitting to provide you with a piece that makes you the most amount of money. Can't expect you guys to go create your own stuff. That kind of goes against what IPAS2 is all about. So keeping that in mind, at any point in time, you can take what you're learning here and go and build out a system on your own, developing your own products and making something just for you to use. You guys, you know what to do here. You've seen the tripwire numbers. You know that having upsell is important. You know that a profit maximizer is what's going to really bring in the cash. I'm going to show you how that works. But you can always go build that on your own. And a lot of times when you buy a guru's product, you're going to learn how to do this, okay? But the majority of people just don't have the skill to do that. So honestly, who wants to do that? Since IPAS2 was designed and built to eliminate the need for you to have to learn, implement, and build this for yourself, okay? I didn't even personally want to create the profit maximizer products that you'd be selling. So I created the core offer. I created the tripwire offers because I knew what converted and I knew what people wanted. I've been doing this long enough, and my team is very, very good at what they do. But I didn't want to go to the extent of building your profit maximizer products because there's too many good products on the market. Instead, myself and my team built the engine, which is known as iPass, to drive sales to your Profit Maximizer products provided by a company called Empower Network. You should all know this because you were on the secret webinar just a few days ago, or just recently. So as you saw the last webinar, becoming an affiliate of the Empower Network will allow you to make up to 100% commissions on their product. So Empower Network is a hybrid business model, unlike most business models. And the reason we chose to build iPass around it is because they pay 100% commissions on their digital products. So essentially you have the power of being a product owner, as if you created them yourself, to make 100% commissions, but you don't have to take the risk. You don't have to do it yourself, and we didn't even have to do it, so it was a perfect marriage for us. So you should already be an Empower Network affiliate, as I instructed in the last webinar. If you're not, and you just became an iPass free member, which means you went to IPAS2 free and you signed up and you did that, you still need to be an affiliate of Empower Network to make those 100% commissions. There's a button right below this video. In fact, if you look right below, there's the first button that says Become an Empower Network Affiliate Now. You want to make sure you click that and become an affiliate. It's very significant because it's only $19.95 a month that allows you to make these big commissions. You need that in order to have a Profit Maximizer. You guys, it's not even worth continuing if you don't do that. It's just 19 bucks. It's the easiest thing. So make sure you do that. Now, let me show you what adding a Profit Maximizer looks like. You guys, this is the most significant part of an internet business, bar none, outside of the front-end funnel, okay? The Profit Maximizer is what makes people the big money. It's what's made me all my money in the industry. All that front-end stuff does is figure out the economics that allow you to make the big money here. Without the front end, this doesn't work. Without this, the front end doesn't work, okay? So, as I illustrated, you have the lead magnet, which goes to your tripwire for $7. You got another return paths that keep dripping on your $7 offer. You've got another tripwire with its return paths, which then sends people to the core offer of $47. If they don't buy that, has its own return paths. All this happens automatically. And then you have the coveted core maximizer, or the upsell, okay, that you're getting at 30% return, or conversion, I should say. From there, we add the Profit Maximizer. Okay, the Profit Maximizer looks like this. It's a way for you to add up to $5,000 without you having to do any more work. So people get tuned into this Profit Maximizer. What is this product? What is it all about? And we also have return emails that drip on them. We add in other technologies like SMS text messaging, which show people the value of this product. We do live events that push this. We even have personal coaches that walk people through the business plan of why they need your Profit Maximizer. So you actually have business coaches calling and contacting your consumers that bought the whole front end. So they bought the tripwire and the core offer. Your business coach will actually call and speak to them or communicate with your client to show them the value of having a Profit Maximizer. And then they go and purchase that, and we also have some value-added services within that. What I found was up to 40% of the core product customers went on to purchase the Profit Maximizer products, which is your Empower Network product suite, which I'll show you. 40%, okay, up to 40%. Obviously, with using a coach, it can be higher because you add that personal touch. It's the same reason why every major company has, sales reps, okay? We have coaches that help them see the value in your product for you. So what does this look like? Well, let's start with what Empower pays on sales of their products. Empower Network pays 100% commissions from $225 in your pocket, in your bank account, to $4,825 per sale into your bank account. That's what they pay for commissions, okay? 100% commissions on that. So let's run some numbers. Without the tripwire, you're looking at $705 in sales for 1,000 visitors, okay? With the tripwire and upsells, you're looking at $2,367 in potential front-end revenue. Add the Profit Maximizers, even at a, say, 10% conversion rate, which is much lower than what we normally see. That's an increase in revenue from $450 additional dollars to $9,650. See the difference here? As you can see, just adding the simple tripwire with the Profit Maximizers has the ability to increase your revenue by more than 10 times. It's what I do in every business model that I build.